Welcome to the House of Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Welcome to Raider Nation News today. Happy Black Monday, everybody. We will be bringing to you guys in its entirety Antonio Pierce's press conference. Is it going to be his last as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders? We do not know, but those coming on in, do me a favor, follow these 3 quick steps. Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. Let's throw the rundown screen up for you guys. And we are watching the latest installment of As the Shield Turns. Actually, I should do it this way. It's probably better to do it this way. The latest installment of
As the Shield Turns.
So we're waiting for it to pop up. We're waiting for Antonio Pierce to take to the podium, and we will bring you the press conference in its entirety. So stay tuned for that. Salute to Can't Get Right. Salute to Adam Sweeney. Salute to Big Daddy Murder. Salute to Isaiah Randolph. Salute to Eaton. We're not sure yet, my guy. We are not sure yet. I have the chat in front of me. Everything else is over here. It is what it is. True One, Happy New Year's, my guy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. James, appreciate you, man. Redbone, salute. Herman Munster. I think we pretty much got everybody in here. And Herman Munster, since you said it, there we go. And give me a thumbs up so I know you guys can hear the sound effects and everything. I'm using OBS today. Steered away from the other browser for a little bit, but we will be back on that tonight. Yes, Raw is Netflix, the premiere of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. The baby-faced heels, myself and Graf, we will be live bringing to you Monday Night Raw in its entirety. So definitely make sure to pull on up for that. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Those you WWE heads, you are not going to want to miss it. And Big Mike, I believe, is going to pull up as well. He's another one that's a huge WWE head. So he'll be pulling up on the live as well for that. We will be talking about everything you guys see on the rundown screen right now. And also, we will open up the vault line for you guys at the end for you guys to sound off. Again, it's the last, it might be presumably AP's last, but it's the last head coach press conference of the 2024-2025 season, as we ended our season yesterday. Not a single win in our division. We lost to our rival, the Los Angeles Chargers. We opened up with a loss to them. We ended with a loss to them. So it is what it is at this point in time. We have a lot to talk about as the offseason approaches. We do have pretty much what the draft is going to look like in terms of the draft order. Thank you, New York Jets, for getting that win over Miami yesterday. We now hold the 6th overall pick in the upcoming NFL draft. A lot of things can happen between now and the draft. We also have to take into consideration the combine, the new league year with free agency signings, trades, what have you, and then the draft. So a lot of different moving parts will be going within the next couple of months. A lot to be talking about. We will do some mock drafts. We will be talking about players that we are evaluating, players that we do believe would fit with this organization. But at the same time, we also need to know who's going to be put in place. Is Patrick Graham gone? Is AP gone? Is the entire coaching staff gone? Who's going to be here? What new faces are we going to see in the building taking control as offensive coordinator? Talked about Scott Turner over the last couple of weeks. Scott Turner is pretty much set to be the offensive coordinator, reuniting with Bill Belichick at the University of North Carolina. So obviously there's a lot to talk about there. And again, it's Black Monday. There have been a lot of firings. There have been a lot of surprises as well as this has gone on. And a lot of things started early yesterday, but there's been more that has come out earlier this afternoon and earlier this morning. So we will talk about that as well. Can't Get Right said, what about, hold on, there we go. What about who?
Fuck you, pay me.
That's the secret word, y'all. Anytime you say that word, if you say Mr. 98, I'm not saying his name because I don't want to hit it again. But yes, if you say that name during these lives until it happens, pretty much, this is what you're going to hear.
Fuck you, pay me.
Because that's what it's coming down to right now, realistically. Let's see. True Raider, remember, this is why you spend most quality time with your son and Al didn't. All of this is Mark's fault. Damn. Wow. The OC from the Saints could be available too, right? You're talking about Kubiak. I have not heard anything about him. There are teams that can interview for him. The New York Jets have already lined up a shit ton of coaches. A shit ton of coaches. lined up for them. Ron Rivera, Mike Vrabel. They've asked permission to interview the offensive coordinator of the Texans, Bobby Slowick. They've also asked to interview Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator with the Bills. There's a lot more actually on this list. I can't remember all of them at the top of my head right now. AP is here. Let's do this.
Yeah, and have you already declared
Let me know that you guys can hear the audio, please.
Your job status.
I haven't been told anything different.
Do you want to get that cleared up ASAP, or do you?
It's only coming from the outside. It's not inside the building. So, to me, there's nothing to clean up until I hear it from inside the building.
AP, when you look at Aiden and his performance, I'm curious if this is it's my observation, I'd like you to know if you tell me if it's fair or not. You haven't seen enough, in my opinion, to determine whether he's a QB1 or not, but certainly deserves to be in the competition. Would you agree with that? And do you need to go forward and keep looking till you know you have the guy?
Well, I think with Aiden, I think what you're seeing is somebody that's finally played 17 games, right? That was his 7th game as a starter. I think you got to look at just the whole platform of it. Not one time has he went in as a day one starter, right? He's been either thrown in the game or coaching change or, bench quarterback. So what does that look like maybe when he has a whole offseason as the guy? So I think a lot of guys have to go into that evaluation. But I think what you see with Aiden, like we saw last night, some big-time throws, some throws we want to take back and not do. And, obviously he's still working on mobility. He got out the pocket again there. So there's work there for a young player that's going in year 3.
Making changes on your staff?
No, not as today.
Kind of big picture, not just roster, coaching staff, but what do you think you guys need to do moving forward to help turn things around?
Got to get better players. Got to coach better. Got to do a lot of things better when you only win 4 games.
For yourself, individually, I know you obviously focus on the entire team, but for yourself personally as a head coach, where do you think you need to improve moving forward?
Everything that a head coach needs to improve in.
How important is it to re-sign Robert Spillane to this team?
And Robert's huge. I think he's earned, if we got every penny out of him for what we signed him for 2 years ago, and he's done an outstanding job. Had a hell of a game last night all over the field, making tackles, top 5 in the league in tackles, but more importantly, a leader, a real staple of what our defense is. Done a great job from a physicality standpoint, leadership standpoint, vocally as well. To me, like we always talk about linebacker play in this room at times, it's fun watching him play linebacker because he gives it, balls to the wall, all out. I would love to see him be a Raider.
A lot of the players in the locker room showed their support for you last night and said that during that 10-game losing streak, you kept them together. How in particular did you do that?
Just being myself like I am every day. I never change, win, lose, or draw. I'm AP regardless of if I'm standing in front of you or I'm outside this building. And that's how I treat those men. I treat them like men. They're pro football players. They understand that. We talk and we have honest conversations. It doesn't just happen when we win. We don't just sit there and pat each other on the back. When we lose, we're straightforward. So it was challenging, though. When you lose 10 straight, how do you keep going in front of your team and motivate them? But to their credit, and I keep talking about it, learn how to be a pro, right? Especially with a young team. And that's what we constantly talked about. I thought they did a good job just buying into what the message or the mindset was of each and every week. And regardless, and I said in this room before, like win, lose, or draw, those guys competed. They gave effort. There's improvement there. You've seen some young players really step up. And that's what I think, this last month really was for us. Obviously, we won 2 games in a row and lost last night. But I thought you saw some things that you could say, man, they were working on it. You can see the technique. You see the fundamentals. You can see the scheme. You can see the players improving. And that's what I think is a plus and a positive to our team.
To that point, whether personally or professionally, where do you feel like you have grown the most over the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to it, just patience, What I need to do a better job of, and as I said a question earlier, I need to go with my gut. I did that a lot. I was better at that last year. This year, I didn't do what I wanted to do as much as I wanted to do it.
I think there was a reason behind that.
No, just lessons learned.
Coach, going back to training camp, one of the important things that you mentioned was brotherhood, was being able to play for each other and that team leadership. How much of it do you think went into effect this season and even just last night, fighting till the last second?
I think it was critical because, again, the way the season went, the expectations that we have for ourselves, to go through that and never see this team point fingers at one another. There was never no bickering. There was no in-house issues or fires or anything that was detrimental to the team, even with movement with the staff or players. Nobody flinched. There was no blinking. We just kept moving on, next man up mentality. And they really embraced that throughout the entire season. I'm really proud of how we finished even last night. Obviously, when the game started to get out of hand, those guys still competing. even on offense and trying to, go for it onside. It wasn't like kick the ball off and let them, no, let's keep fighting until the clock hits zero. So they really take a lot of pride. You can see the emotions and the hurt, after that loss last night. That was sad to see from our guys. But like I told them, one loss, one season that's not who we are. And that's not going to design us.
When you talk about, going with your gut, don't want to put any words in your mouth, but is there things that you would have done differently with the quarterback situation coming out of training camp?
Yep. Yes.
Wow.
I guess, why did you go with Gardner? And it sounds like you probably would have rather gone with.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. It's just I made that decision. And obviously, we made the decision to move on from Gardner after week 5, I believe. And then, things just kind of went left and right after that.
Coach, when you look at the rookie class, not even just the guys you drafted, but also the guys like Jonah and Thomas that you picked up, can you just talk about how they played, and does that make you encouraged on player development?
No, really huge. I think, again, I'm going to go back to a credit to our staff doing a really good job of just constantly, just not always worrying about the Max Crosby's of the world and the Christians, the Roberts of those guys that kind of your bottom feeders, that's up and coming in your program, your organization. And when you get players from the outside, like Jonah from Indy and Zach from Cincinnati, there's a lot that goes into it, right? This is not just scheme, it's technique, it's culture, it's the foundations, the things that we're working on in training camp and in OTAs and mini camp. And what I'm really proud of is what is built really for our team is depth. Get all these guys that were on this IR, which is 13, 14 guys on IR, get them back, and now you got some depth, with some young players that's played over 500 plus snaps.
And I started my 6th year today covering this team, and in those 6 years, the only real consistency has been inconsistency. You mentioned not wanting to make staff changes. How important is it to you, AP, moving forward?
Wait, what happened? Wait a sec. What the fuck? Hold on.
Happened, and I kind of knew something was going on when all our guys started hugging on him. EB came off the sideline. A lot of guys patted him on the back. We kind of knew what we needed to do for Jacoby, but Jacoby did it. Jacoby played his ass off last night. I've been saying this from the jump. The ultimate team player. Like, it's hard to get a receiver that want to go in there and crack a D in or go get a linebacker, go get a safety, then go put up 1,000. That doesn't really happen. That's not very common.
You mentioned Spillane. There's a lot of defensive guys who will be free agents this offseason. How important for you is to get those guys back next year?
Yeah, I think it'd be critical once me and Telesco get together, just grow through that, right? Really look at it. It's got to make dollars and cents for everybody, not just for the Raiders, but for the players as well. Understand the business side of that. But these gentlemen, I thought, all year have played their tails off, some deserving of a contract, and others, probably had to move on from.
Coach, back to the coordinators and stuff, you changed your OC in the middle of the season. What did you like about the job that Team Turner did, both Scott and
Team Turner?
Yeah, really, I thought it just, when you watch this play, it just looked right? I'll just go from the run game alone, and we still have a lot more improvement there. We didn't end the season where we wanted to run the football. Obviously, everybody knows that, what we want to do and being physical. But I thought you just saw more chemistry, some more continuity, the attention to details, the execution from there. I thought our pass protection, even again last night against a very good team with some DNs and some outside backers that can rush, did a good job protecting the quarterback. And like we always talked about with the Raiders, you want to see shots down the field. And that happened more and more often.
In the same vein, Patrick Graham's been here ever since you have been. What have you liked most about working with him? What have you learned from him?
Yeah, Patrick's been great. Obviously, when he got the job, one of the first guys he called, and we jumped on board and worked together. Patrick's a very sharp, obviously intellectual individual. Going to be a head coach in this league. You know, he's been a really good coordinator for us for the 3 years, and we'll see what happens this offseason.
Coach, there's obviously a lot of noise from the fan base, and in a season like this, a lot of negative, but there's also a lot of positive, support from Raider Nation, both nationally and internationally. What is your message to them?
I appreciate the support, win, lose, or draw. You know, when you take this job and when you're in front of this room, in front of the building, in front of the organization, the face of the organization, you take the good with the bad, right? And when we win, everybody's AP. And when you lose, get rid of his ass. I get it. That's the nature of the beast. It was no different when I played, right? When you play well, they keep you and they give you more money. And you don't, you go to another team. So that's a good part about being a former player. You get the nature of the business.
Unless
but
you're
Raider Nation's been
Renfro.
great. I'll say this. For the 9 road games we had, they showed up, every one of them. And they were loud, they were beating. The black hole, we always a kick to it. No different than last night. Thought they were outstanding. For us on some third downs and down there in the red zone. Had a goal line stop because of the noise. Had them call a timeout. So Raider Nation's been great. It's been great to me. I appreciate the support. Good, bad, and ugly. I get it. And I take it, and I don't blink or flinch. It is what it is. We got to win more games, and that's what everybody expects, myself included.
Coach, is there any one reflection that you have on this season that...
I'm sorry, can you start again?
Is there any kind of reflection or a takeaway, a moment that you have from this season that you hope to carry into next season for this team?
It's a good question. To be honest, I think we got to really look at, just how we handle our business in training camp and that transition. When I look at what we did with Costa Mesa, I thought it was a very good experience for our team. But just see when we got back, we just got hit with injuries.
That's what it sounds like,
I
Rusty.
really look back at that. We talked to our medical staff and training staff of what we can do a better job of that. Now, a lot of these injuries were contact football injuries, and just the nature of the beast just happens. But as I look back, just
That's what it sounds
when you're
like right
moving
now.
guys around from
And we
one
will
place
talk
to the
about
other,
it, and I want to
what's
hear
the
from you
impact of
guys
your
as
team?
well.
I'm not saying that's good or bad, but that's just something that on top of my head that I know I've been thinking about.
Speaking of injuries, how big would it be to get Malcolm Kuntz back? He didn't get to play at all this year.
If there's one injury that really frustrated and hurt me this year was Malcolm. Because he had a hell of a training camp, really a hell of offseason. Then we go in training camp, and, he's looking really, really good. And I know it's against our offense, and we got in a couple games in preseason, but the bend, the power, the confidence was back. He had that swag to him. And when he went down that Thursday, it hurt our team. You felt it. You felt the emotional drop within the building. And it was a sad moment, but to Malcolm's credit, and see him in the building every day working out and starting to get his little juices back to him, man, it'll be good to have him back because, he's just on the brink of being a really good football player. And it'll be good to see him come back as a Raider and do what he needs to do for us to win.
Got time for 2 more. Yes, go ahead.
A 4-13 season for the Raiders is disappointing, but do you believe this franchise, looking back in a couple of years, will be able to see 22 or 27 first and second year guys playing, and that will be something positive that does come out of a disappointment?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think, just looking at stats, us and the Rams were one of the younger team, playing a lot of young guys late in the month, late this season. What I think is going to happen with this season is there's going to be a lot. There's a lot that I'm going to take from Telesco and Mark and our players, and we're going to look back and say, okay, why, right? And we're going to figure out that why over the next couple months. Then we get back in this bad boy, which I expect our guys to do, and be just like they were last year, in here in February, in here in March, when we start an off-season program, to have more of a chip, right? Because there was some opportunities that we had where we're on the goal line, 6 inches from the goal line, or 4 yards
bars.
there. Or we got an opportunity on third down or fourth down to make a stop, to have this narrative of losing go away. And again, I've said it before, when enough is enough and we make up our minds we're going to do it right and can be consistently doing it right, and you said that word earlier, consistency, we'll be okay.
Coach, on a personal level, how much have you enjoyed, kind of having your son as well on this coaching staff, and how much in his personal development and his professional development do you think this experience has helped him?
Not really cool, really cool. Get it? Kind of a homer deal, right? But hell no, it ain't a homer deal. When the guy's going to one day be a coordinator and a coach in this league, you got to start from the ground up, put him with the offensive line. He gets the shit beat out of him every day by Jackson Powers and Colton Miller and those guys. See him go on defense next year will be really exciting. But it's always good when for myself, when I played, I didn't spend a lot of time with my son, right? Because I was traveling and working, trying to have a good living for him. And now to be with him and watch him be a father, be around him, watch him learn, go through the ups and downs of coaching. Hell, tired as hell. It's like a rookie season for him. He might hit the rookie wall in coaching. But to understand and see that process and see how driven he is, that's like the second find. To see how driven he is really cool. Cool. Hey, appreciate you guys, man. Good luck.
All right, there you guys have it. Presser is complete. From the sounds of things, AP will be back as it stands right now. Talked about changes with the coaching staff. Unless Patrick Graham is hired as a head coach somewhere or not relieved of his duties by Mark Davis and Tom Telesco, Patrick Graham is going to be back. Offensive coordinator, like I said, Scott Turner is pretty much set to be the offensive coordinator and join Bill Belichick at UNC. This is... I can't say that I'm mad. From the standpoint of, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, I was asked, what are the chances? I was like 50-50 and then went 60-40. Consistency. And this is one thing that Max Crosby alluded to as well. You can't have a revolving door at the head coaching position in the NFL because that also creates an unsuccessful team on a year in, year out basis. So I can't say I'm mad. I can't say what the fuck are we doing or be happy that he's back as of right now, but it's something to think about in terms of consistency. And I think this is something also that the players need more than anything else. Like, you have a quarterback that got, well, realistically, AOC is going to be here for another 2 years unless told otherwise. There's some weird ass reports out there already talking about the upcoming draft and potentially using Aiden O'Connell as a trade piece with the Tennessee Titans. Now, I do not know how accurate this is at this point in time. This is something that I heard this morning, and I'm not trying to sit here because I don't do this at all. I'm not trying to create clickbait when I say that. But this was something that I heard this morning. I don't know how true it is, but there's already a whole bunch of different rumors and shit being put out there. And this is one that I heard about Aiden O'Connell potentially being a trade piece. I was asked, what do you think of Aiden O'Connell as a quarterback compared to guys of the likes of, rather, Will Levis and somebody like Mason Rudolph, who the Tennessee Titans currently have as their quarterbacks? I'm not sure how I feel about that. We'll talk about that if it ever pops up again. But let's go through it. Again, this is why we're here. It is Black Monday. And again, as of right now, AP is still the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. But around the league, the Bengals have fired their defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo. He was with the team for 6 years, and I ultimately think that they have had a solid defense year in, year out. You see the beast that is Trey Hendrickson. I'm pretty sure he led the league in sacks this season. The Browns fired offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey and offensive line coach Andy Dickerson yesterday. Jacksonville retained Trent Baalke, their GM, which a lot of people were stunned by this morning. And they have they have fired head coach Doug Peterson, which was a talk yesterday. I'm thinking John Gruden. Yes, that John Gruden may end up being the next head coach either there or even Chicago with the quarterbacks set there. The New England Patriots did fire Gerard Mayo shortly after the game yesterday. We already knew about Dennis Allen earlier this season. The Jets, Saleh, and their GM Douglas got fired weeks ago. The Seattle Seahawks, they had fired their offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, after only one season as the offensive coordinator in Seattle. Shane Steichen and general manager Chris Ballard of the Saints are set to return. Again, Jacksonville, Trent Baalke, he is set to return. Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer, the GM and head coach of the Dolphins, they're set to return. This was another one that is a mind-blown thing, and for all the Giant fans in New York and New Jersey are probably throwing fits about this, but the New York Football Giants are retaining head coach Brian Daboll and general manager Joe Schoen. In terms of interviews, Chicago Bears, their head coach interviews requests have included Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka, Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Petzing, and Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. The New England Patriots have requested to interview Ben Johnson. They're also going to interview Mike Vrabel. I think we know, presumably, Mike Vrabel is probably at this point in time going to the New England Patriots as their next head coach. The New Orleans Saints, they've requested David Shaw, the former Stanford head coach and current Broncos exec, And the New York Jets, I talked about this a little earlier, they have a whole laundry list for their interviews and their requests. Joe Brady, the Bills offensive coordinator. Brian Flores, the Vikings defensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn, Lions defensive coordinator. Vance Joseph, Broncos defensive coordinator. Matt Nagy's the Chiefs OC. Ron Rivera, who was already interviewed, that's been completed. Rex Ryan, the former Jets and Bills head coach, has been scheduled. Bobby Slowick, the Texans offensive coordinator. Arthur Smith, the Steelers offensive coordinator. And Mike Vrabel, that was already done last week. For their GM, they're looking at assistant GM for the Chiefs, Mike Borgonzi, former Falcons GM Thomas Dimitroff, which has already been done. They've scheduled Alec Hallaby, the Eagles assistant GM, Mike Greenberg, the Buccaneers assistant GM, Jim Nagy, Reese's Senior Bowl exec, which has already been done, ESPN analyst Louis Riddick, which has already been completed, and John Robinson, former Titans GM. That has all been done. Let's go around. I have to sneeze. Hold up. Oh, there it is. I was like, oh, is it gonna come out? No diddy. Now let's go back and get the schedule up because the playoffs are set, guys. The playoffs are officially set, and this is the playoff picture as it stands for the AFC. The Chiefs do have the bye. Go figure. It is what it is. Trying to see where we are here with this. That's wrong, actually. Let's go back to the home. No, it's not showing up here. Why is this not showing up now? Games, schedule. Here we go. It's not showing up. Go figure. I was ready to get you guys set for the playoffs. So wait, wild card week. I think we got it. Here we go. There it is. Okay. So Saturday, January 11th, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, you have the Chargers taking on the Texans in Houston. 8 p.m. Prime Video game. Yeah, video game. That sounds weird the way that came out. Ravens going against the Steelers in Baltimore. It's going to be a very good game. You have the Broncos and the Bills on Sunday, January 12th in Buffalo. 1 p.m. start. 4:30 p.m. Eastern start. You have the Eagles taking on the Green Bay Packers. 8 p.m. Sunday, January 12th, the Buccaneers are hosting the Washington Commanders. I think that's going to be a very tight game. Two very high-scoring offenses. And Monday night, you have the Rams. This is going to be very interesting. The Rams are facing the Vikings in a wild card game at SoFi. I think the Vikings are going to end up dog walking the Rams, especially after that miserable loss last night. Zon, you did miss the presser, and yes, Antonio Pierce is still here, man. He did not get fired. As of now, he is still the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Like I said, buckle up and enjoy the ride. Bitch, complain or cheer the Raiders. Gonna do what they want if they like it or not. Caps, that's a fact. Christian Watson did tear his ACL last night, so he's done for the year. Ravens favored 9.5 already. I think I know where my money's going. AP, AOC, we're just gonna trot this shit back out again next year. Mark Davis should be GM of In-N-Out. He eats there 3 to 5 times a week. Good God, come on, man. Again, there's going to be a lot to talk about. You really didn't miss much with that presser. I'm still incredibly surprised. Again, I don't want to say I'm surprised because, like I said, it was a 50-50 thing. But again, I don't want to go through this whole carousel and revolving door of head coaches, and then rookies are going to have to learn a new system in year 2. A guy like Aiden O'Connell is going to have to learn his 3rd new system in 3 years in the league. Like, that's not good. And again, at the same time, we're not sure. Patrick Graham could be interviewed by other teams. Patrick Graham could be a head coach somewhere else. He could be offered another position job somewhere else. So we don't know where it stands with Patrick Graham either right now. David Zahn just said, did we just shit in our hands and clap? It sure as hell feels like it. Yeah, we did. AP had a dope starter jacket on. No matter what, we need a new OC and possible. This is what we absolutely need right now, Adam. 1,000%. This is exactly what we need right now. AP just hired Bears, fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. Stop, Walt. Stop. again, I talked about Graham actually earlier this morning, and I haven't been too happy with the defense. There's guys here and there that have done really solid jobs, but the scheme has been terrible, and you've stayed in the same scheme over and over and over again. I like that you're running stunts with the defensive line. That's a cool story, bro. But you need to stop staying in your base of a 4-2-5. Go 4-3, go 3-4. But you need guys that are going to be able to cover the field and not leave the middle of the field open 10 times out of 10. Because every time, like, that pretty much is where we get exposed, is in the middle. And our run game was abysmal, but it didn't help that we had let me be politically correct. I'm just going to say a jackass like Luke Getsy as our offensive coordinator when you had other opportunities at other offensive coordinators. Again, look at Liam Cohen and what he's done with Tampa Bay this year. And they're a top 5 in scoring, if I remember correctly. Cliff Kingsbury, he left, he walked out the building, rightfully so, and went on to the Commanders and has done a really tremendous job with rookie Jaden Daniels. It is what it is, stupid decisions, but at the same time, there was a certain guy that was not in our facility on a day-to-day basis, and that has officially changed in terms of minority owner Tom Brady. He will definitely have a lot of oversight with a lot of things that go on moving forward. He will be a person that will help in terms of the decision making for our organization moving forward, and I'm good with it right now. I'm absolutely good with it right now. Again, as it pertains to this draft, I see draft offensive lineman in the first round. We talked about Drew Allar yesterday. We don't know yet. We don't know if he's going to declare for the draft, but if he is, that's going to open up an opportunity and a possibility for us to get one of 3 instead of one of 2 quarterbacks in this upcoming draft. Drew Allar, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward. So we shall see. Salute to Jordy Robinson on the first super of the day. Salute to him on the $5.
Holla, city of squalor.
Watch that heart rate. I thought I fell into a wasted rant. Nah, I'm not. There's nothing for me to go off about right now. We pretty much knew where our season was going to go after a matter of 4 or 5 weeks this year. But we still hung on and still did lives for each and every single one of y'all because we're all in this together, win, lose, or tie, right? We talked about the game. We didn't really go through the stats. I'm going to go through the stats real quickly, and then we're going to talk about the draft a little bit as well. So let me get this going for you guys. Give me 2 seconds. You know I hate the dead air. I did make sure that that was put there the right way. My fault. And again, guys, we will be live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. All you WWE heads. Raw is Netflix. The babyface heels, myself and Graf, we will be live 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Make sure to pull on up. Let's get to this box score real quick. I'll go through the team stats. So again, the final score was 26-16. I'm sorry, no, it wasn't. It was 34-20. They messed this. I read that wrong. 34-20. First downs 26-16. There you go, in favor of the Chargers. Total plays 72-48 in favor of the Chargers. Total yards 473-264 in favor of the Chargers. Let's see where are we at. Rushing 137-139. 1 sack for the Chargers. We didn't have any. Woohoo. Red zone 3 for 6 for the Chargers, 1 for 2 for us. Penalties 7 for 40 for the Chargers, 3 for 28 for us. Time of possession 38-58 for the Chargers, 21-02 for us. And your game leaders, Aiden O'Connell, 24-34, 214 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Alexander Madison, 6 carries, 20 yards. Jacoby Myers, 9 receptions, 123 yards, 1 touchdown. And he joined the 1,000-yard receiving club for the first time in his career. Salute to Jacoby Myers on that wonderful accomplishment. See if I'm missing anything here, and I don't think I am at the moment. Montana State goes for national championship tonight. I'm not watching that. I've already seen people that have said, and salute to Rick's in the chat, I already saw somebody that put a comment from last night's live that they're not going to be a Raider fan if AP comes back. Well, guess what? Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. You will not be missed. Anyways, let's go to this draft order as it stands right now, and this is courtesy of Tankathon. But as it stands right now, your top 10 draft picks for the upcoming 2025 NFL draft, which is 108 days away. 1 through 10, Titans, Browns, Giants, Patriots, Jags, Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Saints, Bears. That is your top 10 draft order for the upcoming 2025 NFL draft. Do you guys want a mock draft before we open up the vault line for a little bit? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up, thumbs down, guys. I know I missed it. I didn't even know, but Big Bro is live, so I'm going to probably wrap this up momentarily as well. All right, so let's get this going. Hold up, guys. I'll do it through Draft Buzz or PFF. Draft Buzz or PFF? Gotcha. Let's get this going for you guys. Hold up. Which one is it again? I was looking at the wrong thing. All right, let's take this off the screen right now so you guys can see everything here as we do this. Here we go. Here we go. $108 million with 27 free agents. Tommy T has some work to do, and I think that he'll be fine handling that. But we also need the right depth pieces as well. I can't find the mouse on the screen. Here we go. Let's start this. So Shador went first to Tennessee. Cam Ward went to the Browns. I'm still questioning that because one, there's a report out there that Deshaun Watson's Achilles injury, he already has a setback with that, and they did restructure his contract. So I'm not sure. I think they may end up potentially doing this, but I'm not 1,000% sure there. Dalton Wagner did sign an extension with us. The Giants went and took McMillan. Travis Hunter went to New England, which I think is probably going to happen. Mason Graham goes to Jacksonville. So we are on the clock. Will Johnson is a guy that I've drafted in multiple mocks already, but there's another guy that I've taken as well in the second round. And a lot of you are saying Will Johnson, so I'll go Will Johnson. I do want to address our offensive line, specifically our guard room. Let me look at this though. Yeah, no. I could take somebody else here. I could even go the interior right here. Look at where Booker is though. You know what? Fuck it. They're probably going to give me a stupid grade off of that. So, this is what we have right now. We have Will Johnson, we have Tyler Booker, and I'm glad that they updated this, and now we could actually see where to go with this. Scattaboo-boo. Isaiah Bond is there. I've seen Booker going high in second a lot. I always draft Johnson, that linebacker Campbell, and Isaiah Bond. Yo, Bond is a fucking dog, bro. Bond is a dog, and he's a transfer from Bama to Texas, and this kid, he's got some crazy-ass speed. Am I going Scattaboo-boo? We got the 68th overall and the 73rd overall. Let's see what we have at the quarterback position. Gabriel's off the board. Gabriel is off the board. I'll wait till 73 to revisit that. I'm gonna take a receiver here. We can still technically wait for a quarterback. All right. So I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to take the running back. I'm going to take Scatterboo. And I'm going to see if there's a quarterback there when we get to this spot. And if there is, I'll take a quarterback. Shit. We're in the 4th round and we have between these guys. I don't know what to do here. 4th round. All right. We're going to go 1A, 1B here. Take a flyer. It's a 4th round pick. We're going to go with the quarterback. Are you taking Beck or are you taking Ewers? Are you taking Beck or are you taking Ewers? And these are guys that I've said they're not gonna. I don't know. Ewers will transfer. You know what? I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna take a chance with Graph's guy. I'm gonna go Riley Leonard. And I know people are gonna go crazy over this. And Beck is still there. Like, that shit is disturbing. Quinn Ewers is still there. We got a corner, we got a guard, we got a receiver, we got a running back, we have a quarterback. Michael Taft, that kid can fucking hit, but I don't want to be a homer on that one. Go Emory Jones here. Get ourselves a tackle. Maybe we could double dip right here. Yep, he's still here. Swing back. Look at this one. Ooh. Both of them rushed for over 1,000 yards this year, but Singleton is someone to consider right now. Let me check out Mullings, because I've drafted him a couple of times. Oh, no. We got 2 running backs. I'll take Jalen Walker. Actually, where are we here? We need one more offensive lineman. Leaky, salute, Oos. Go back to best available. Did we take? No, we didn't. You know what? I'm going to take Jalen Walker. Oh, shit. Damian Martinez, the kid that they were talking about the other day, he is still there. Very, very low. Terrier. Jigger is there. Fuck it. Just bullshit the last one. Take Will Shepherd here and get a double up on receivers as well. Let's see where we're at. So like I said, I knew Booker was going to fall like that. So we finished with a B. We got Will Johnson, Tyler Booker, Isaiah Bond, Cam Scatterboo, Riley Leonard, Emory Jones, Nicholas Singleton, Jalen Walker, Jager Burton, and Will Shepherd to finish this out with a B. It's not too bad. Let's get back to the screen. You guys want me to open up the vault line for a little bit? See or no? If not, I'm probably going to go and take a nap because, again, we will be live again in another 5.5 hours. We've been on, I don't even know. Oh, we've actually been on 45 minutes. That's actually, I can cut it now. This wasn't bad at all. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it now. I appreciate y'all for pulling on up. We gave you guys Antonio Pierce's press conference. Antonio Pierce hasn't been told otherwise. He is the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. As it stands right now. Again, Patrick Graham, still uncertain. We shall see about that one. An offensive coordinator, obviously, we are going to be in a deep, deep search for an offensive coordinator. So on your way out, if you guys haven't already, smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions in the house that Hammer built by the nation, for the nation, Raider Nation News Today. Continue to stay safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. COVID or not, you should always remember to wash your hands and your asses. And as always, win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation, till I die. Till tonight, baby-faced heels, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And of course, as always, on my New York peace, love, and positivity. And
when I leave, come together like butt cheeks.
We outro, y'all.